On this video, what we will demonstrate is the personal finance double entry ledger that has been designed based on Microsoft Access. This is a double entry account keeping platform that has been designed for personal use, and this might be useful for anyone who might want to use a double entry system to record their personal expenses and so on. And you could obviously download this one and improve it to suit your requirements. This one at the moment is basic and been designed to suit my personal preferences. However, you can download it and improve it to suit your requirements. A good website I found for the basic explanation of double entry accounting is this one. Perhaps I will have a link to this on the web page. This website gives a very good basic understanding of double entry account keeping, so I won't try to go into that. So coming back to this application, this is the main interface. Over here there's a snip of the primary tables that are involved, and as you may already know, there are 5 types of accounts, and they are listed here for illustration purposes, and it also illustrates what happens when such account is debited or credited. So mainly we have the ledger categories, which are these categories, account categories rather, and then we have the individual ledgers. For demonstration purposes, I have created some here. So you can essentially first plan out how you want your finances reflected, to what resolution, and then based on that, you can create whatever ledgers you desire. And then before going into detailed journal entries, most entries will be repetitive, the sort of similar expenses that you would generally have on a regular basis. So as part of setting up the system prior to use, after setting up the ledgers you want, you will set up the transaction categories. So that means the typical transaction category you will have, and then what account gets debited and what accounts get credited. That way, when you do your journal entries, you don't have to individually select the accounts that get credited or debited. You select the transaction category, which is descriptive, and then the system will automatically credit and debit the relevant accounts. So here you can see grocery purchase is a type of transaction category. You are debiting the groceries account, and then you're crediting your cash account. So one will basically go and insert all these transaction categories, and then coming back to this table explanation, you will see the next thing is the actual journal entries. And as you keep on entering sort of descriptions, transaction descriptions, this system will save them so that in the future you don't have to manually type them. You can select them from a drop-down interface. Okay, so these are currently blank. So that's the journal entry interface. We will sort of go through this a bit later on, and these are currently empty because I've not entered any transactions. So this table structure illustrates the underlying structure of the database. And here we can review the debits and credits of each of these ledgers to get an idea of where we stand in terms of expenses and income and so on. So carrying on, we had already set up some ledgers here. We have already set up a few transaction categories. So let's set up a few more for demonstration purposes. Let's look at the scenario of me getting a bank loan to purchase a house and then purchasing the house and then making some mortgage payments and so on. So I've already got a transaction category for the bank loan for purchase of the house. I've already got some transaction categories for the mortgage interest payments and mortgage principal payments. Let me correct that spelling mistake. So what I want is the transaction category for the purchase of the house. These ones are not necessarily going to be repetitive transactions because one wouldn't be purchasing house very often, but we will set it up for demonstration purposes. So purchase of the house, you're debiting a ledger we created called real estate. It's a asset account type, and then we will be crediting our cash account. This is where we got our loan paid into. We have done that. We will also add a transaction category for salary from employment. So we get the salary into our cash account. And then the credit account will be our company ABC revenue account. So that's how you add some transaction categories.